Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. How y'all doing today? Y'all good? You ate today? Great. Welcome back to The Life of Legs. And it's your girl, Big Legs. How y'all, ¿cómo están? How you really doing? That's what I thought. Anywho, life is just life, and I know I say that just about every episode, but I mean, it's called The Life of Legs, and life be life, and which then gives me content, gives me stuff to talk about. So here we are. And on the last episode, I named it Broken Hearted Girl over one of my, Beyonce songs that I love. I was going to say my favorite, but it's really not one of my favorites. Countdown is number one. It's been number one since the first time I heard it. And it just hasn't moved. It hasn't gotten better since Countdown, if I'm being honest. But I love all of Beyonce's songs. I always say, if I was ever kidnapped, which I don't wish this on myself at all, but if I was ever kidnapped, I would sing every single Beyonce song until they either shut me up or let me go. Those are their two options. Anywho, that's not what we're going to talk about today. So, back to Broken Hearted Girl, the last episode. So, it got me to thinking, what actually broke my heart? Because I was just I didn't want to keep living with a broken heart. I wanted to have a renewed heart, yada, yada, yada. But what happened to my heart in the first place? It didn't just break, per se. The relationship didn't break my heart, if that makes sense. And so I was just well, let me go into detail on that. Let me go deeper, okay? So, with that being said, it wasn't the relationship that caused me to have a broken heart, because nadie te rompe el corazón. Nobody can just break your heart. It's really your feelings got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, what actually hurt my feelings? Did it hurt my feelings that he left? On what terms did the relationship end? Was it really over when I first thought it was over? Or did we just keep playing, the relationship game, the toxic game, right? So I just had to go deeper and realize, the relationship didn't end on a bad note at all. It ended ultimately because for me personally, I felt like I couldn't love him more. I felt like I was at my capacity of what love meant for me, and I didn't know how to love more than what I was doing, while simultaneously neglecting to love myself, because I definitely wasn't doing that at the moment. And what I mean by that is I'd gotten to a point where I had, for that semester I took up 4 classes, and I got very overwhelmed at some point and couldn't focus. And so it was hard for me to get back on track when I just was not there. I couldn't focus. I was just writing stuff down and not comprehending anything. I wasn't even paying attention really. And I just stopped taking my classes. I just stopped. I made an executive decision to just let it go. Not even keep one class going or the other. I just let them all go. And at that point, I was feeling so bad about myself, because I was if I'm not useful in a relationship, if I'm not useful in motherhood, because that was also something I was going through, having a miscarriage, right? I would feel like I wasn't useful in being a student, I wasn't being prosperous in life like I wanted to. I was coming up on my 25th birthday, so I was I'm having a quarter life crisis, and it was not okay. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know who I wanted to be, what I wanted to be. I just had a lot of I don't knows. And it's safe to say that I was okay with just not knowing. Just stopping things in its tracks. And I was hey, before this gets any worse, I'm a jump ship. That's what I wanted to do, right? And that was putting my partner in a difficult situation, because he was, I can't really speak for him, but from my impression, he was feeling that he was the cause of all of this, which he wasn't. this was something that was bound to happen. I think when he came into the picture, it just delayed it, because I was about to have that same just spiel of, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know who I want to be, what I want to be. Like, I was about to have that same revelation at the same time he came into my life. So it just delayed the process, gave me more context, you know, gave me a couple plot twists in the whole story. And it just, under the circumstances, I didn't feel like I was able to be a good partner in a relationship. And I wasn't willing to do more. I wasn't willing to do any more than I was, because I feel like I was already doing enough. And it also felt like it wasn't enough. Like, we were both still unhappy from my perspective. So, no aguanto. I just couldn't handle it anymore. And he just eventually left. Because he was like, the longer I stay, the worse it gets. And, like, I don't know. I was just very unhappy. And so, my heart wasn't broken that I, didn't have a boyfriend anymore or whatever, a fiance, whatever. My heart was broken that, it was broken from not knowing what to do next. Like, I just lost everything I wanted in that time of my life. Like, I made an executive decision of what I wanted earlier that year. Well, earlier 2022. I want to say like April, May. I made an executive decision on what I wanted. I made a plan. Like, things were going as expected until it wasn't. And then I kept hitting a bunch of roadblocks, and it was just making things worse and worse. And then it just came to a stop, and I just couldn't do any more. And so I needed help, to say the least. Like, I was ready to check myself into a mental institution or get a therapist or something. I needed something. And I did end up getting a therapist. And I got a miss homegirl. I ain't gonna hold you. But life just takes a toll on us. And I had to learn that if I can't love anybody else more than what I'm doing, then I at least need to learn how to love myself in the least bit. I at least owe myself that. So I had to take time to do that. But also, as an adult, there's adult things to do. There's responsibilities and stuff. And it just makes things even harder. But yeah, that's really that story. Like, as much as I wanted to be like he was cheating on me or this and the third, I can't say that. Like, I was telling people that the relationship ended because he was a lot older than me, which is the truth. He was a lot older than me. And I was also telling people that we just weren't it for each other, which is the truth, I guess. Like, when things ended, right before things like just the final nail was in the coffin, right? I prayed and I was like, God, if like this is who I think, I just know this is who I want to spend the rest of my life with. So if this is who you want me to be with, then it'll work out. It'll work itself out. I'll fight. I'll do my best, right? And if not, then I will be okay with that. Like, I literally had that conversation with God in my car. And then like a couple hours later, the relationship was over. Like, that was the final nail in the coffin. And there was no like going back from that, even though it wasn't like a fight, a big argument, nothing. It was the most silentest breakup ever. Like, the TV could not have been any more louder than what it was. So that goes to show you that when things aren't meant for you, you have to be okay with that, with it working out and with it not working out before going any further. Because either way it goes, it can't shift you from you, right? Because I had to know that God was going to take care of me either way. Like, he had been doing it this far, he's going to keep doing it either way. Like, I will work on what I need to work on either way. But I just had to be clear with God. Like, hey, this is what I'm up against. And if you want it to work out, it'll work out. Like, it's gonna do what it do. We're gonna be back to, how we were a couple months ago. But it didn't work out. So I just had to pick up my pieces. And y'all, like I said, I was sliding down the wall, snotty nose, crying, boo-hooing, can't get up off the floor. Eyes can't cry no more. Like, you ever cried to the point where you just feel like, if I keep crying, my eyes are gonna fall out of my eye sockets? Like, I felt like that a couple of nights. I ain't gonna hold you. And I had everybody worried. But I just wanted to be really clear with myself today that it wasn't because of the relationship. It was just the fact that I didn't love myself enough to keep going. Because love is something that is natural, yes, but it's also something learned. Like, if you never learn to love anybody, it's gonna feel strange to you. Like, that's just the truth. So I felt like I couldn't love anybody else anymore. I didn't have any more capacity for love. I didn't have any more to give, and I didn't want to receive any. And I had to just love myself enough to keep going for at least one more day. And then after that, one more day. Like, take it step by step. Being a little delulu on the side, for razzle dazzle. It's okay. But life taught me what love is. Love from a partner, love from family, love from friends, right? Love from people who just support you and don't even know you. Like, love comes in many different forms, and I didn't know that, right? And self-love is the best love. And that doesn't mean that you're just doing what people think is self-care all the time. It's just setting boundaries, being yourself. Like, what's gonna float your boat? So, yeah, those are just things that I had to reflect on. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out y'all's hair. Y'all, I permed mine. And if you're mad, then just stay mad. But, I mean, it's still curly. There's this thing called texlaxing, and we'll get into that on a different episode. But don't worry about my hair. Worry about yours. Okay? Love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all. Bye. Oh, before I go, I'm so sorry. Just don't go fucking on until Ice Day. Like, we're past that now. Okay? Bye.